faster door-to-door travel is one of the main reasons why people fly private. And of course now with all this disruption with this virus out there, and the airlines, cancelling lots of flights last minute, they've never done this before, it's creating a lot of disruption. If you have to travel for business, a lot of people have been doing the Zoom calls instead. But there are situations where going to visit a client, going to explore an opportunity, is always the best thing to do in person. So that's one of the main reasons people choose to buy and invest in a private jet. The ability to react fast and be able to jump on an airplane, spring into action, the increased productivity in flight when you're traveling with just you and your team. That's also another factor which is important. But let's try and look at a few other stats here to help us to understand what value there is there for the shareholders of your company in having and operating a private jet. Because a lot of people, as soon as they hear, we're going to buy an airplane, they're immediately, and the CFOs turn around, this is going to cost us $20 million to buy this thing, $6 million to operate, we only spent $500,000 last year on travel. And so we have to sort of analyze this from another perspective. So let's look, for example, 50 of the most innovative companies in the world. Out of those 50 most innovative companies, 92% use private jets. 50 of the world's most admired companies, 98% of those companies actually use private jets. If we look at the 50 best brands in the world, 92% of them use private jets. And now you're thinking, yes, but those are all big companies. Well, interestingly enough, 70% of business jet users are companies with less than 1,000 employees. And if we hone down on that figure, we discover that 59% of companies that use private jets have less than 500 employees. So what does that tell you? It tells you that the companies that are using the private jets are not necessarily the big ones, it's the smaller ones. Now let's look at another perspective here. What you have to think of is, how is my business going to grow? Well, how do businesses grow? Well, businesses grow by either developing new products and taking them to market, or scaling the products that they already have. So the next question is, how can I bring products quicker to market, and how can I scale what I've got? What can I use from a strategy standpoint to accelerate those things? Well, if you have a private jet, you can go to places a lot quicker to spot the new opportunities, develop the new ideas. Once you've got the idea developed into a product, you have to obviously sell it. Again, out you go with your private jet. You can meet people a lot quicker. You can bring clients in to see you, come and visit the factory. I'm sending my jet out to pick you up. So from a strategy standpoint, having the private jet is going to allow you to do all these things a lot quicker, a lot more effectively. And that's what you need to be looking at. And as I always say, you can't really measure this before you go and acquire the private jet. Yes, you've got to have the money there, okay? But bear in mind that, there's lots of tax benefits as well. You can write off the acquisition of the airplane. You can write off the usage of the airplane. Of course, how you do that will depend which tax jurisdiction you're in. So you need to consult with a local aviation tax attorney to be able to find out how you're going to do that from a company perspective. But these are all considerations that have to be looked at when you're going to be using a private jet. So it really is, if you're going to make this investment, you've got to think of how you're going to use it to be able to accelerate your business, to bring new products to market, to discover new things. And that's what I encourage you to do. And that's why, as I always say, the acquisition of the private jet, the plane itself, is only one element. You need good pilots that are going to fly it well. You need good maintenance so this airplane can be maintained well. It needs to be managed in a certain way so it's always available. Even when you do your maintenance, time that in a certain way. These are all aspects that have to be looked at when you're acquiring a private jet. It's not just, I bought this nice shiny jet for $25 million. It needs to be done in a certain way, because the ultimate objective here is for you to use this as a strategy tool to build your business, more of a solid business, get to market with new products, and scale what you already have. And that's how the private jet is going to be very, very useful for you and your company and bring you lots and lots of success. Now, in closing, I'd like to there's a quote here from Warren Buffett, one of the wealthiest people in the world, CEO of Berkshire Hathaway, also owns a company called NetJets, which have quite a number of private jets out there. And this is what he said. He said, Berkshire has been better off by having me in a corporate jet available to go and do deals. So that's the question you need to ask yourself. Would your company benefit from having a private jet? How many opportunities could you go for if you had a private jet? And today in the world of the virus and all the problem with the airlines, and lots more airlines are going bust, there are less airline flights available. So if you've got the money to buy a private jet, I encourage you to make this investment. But there's also the option of leasing a jet for 12 months or 24 months. That also is an option. As I always say, if you want to reach out to me, you can, and I can schedule you in for a strategy call just to find out more about your business and see which airplane would suit your organization and how you could use this to grow your business. As I always say, I can only give out general information here on Biz Jet TV. If you want to be specific, we need to get specific and one-to-one.